Just because a lightsaber is thin and comfortable to spin and isn't really a character saber, doesn't mean it has to look plain and boring. Now you can always customize and weather your own lightsaber to add a unique character to it, but what if a thin stunt saber looked great out of the box? Greetings, knowledge seekers, the Force is with you. Today we're going to show you this beautiful Guardian lightsaber from SaberForms. Big shout out and thank you going out to SaberForms for sending this over so you can check it out. The Guardian is one of the most beautiful lightsabers I've seen for the price range. It reminds me a little bit of the Saber Trio style weathering. It starts with an RGB baselit for $139, an SN Pixel 4.0 board for $239, which I have here. SN Pixel is similar to the Xenopixel. It's a great board for its simplicity with lots of features. And there's also the Profi 2.2 for $389 if you want a really good board with great blade styles with the sound fonts. And it comes in your choice of a 32-inch or 36-inch blade. The SM Pixel 4.0 comes with 27 sound fonts, which you can each customize with 9 lighting effects and 10 saber ignition styles on a pixel blade. More or less, that's pretty much how the Xenopixels work as well. You'll have your sound fonts, and each one can be user customized with the existing blade styles and ignitions. On a Profi, the blade styles and ignitions are specifically programmed for each sound font. This SM Pixel comes with a 32 gig micro SD card so you can customize the default settings or change the sound fonts. Let's see what it comes with. Inside the box comes your product manual. In one of the small Ziplocs comes your Allen key, your set screws, and a USB Type-C to A charging cable. Remember to always use 5-volt chargers and no more, or you'll fry your board. The other Ziploc is a blade plug. And here we have a 32-inch pixel blade. And this is everything that comes in the box. The hilt design, this thing is great. There's a navy blue hue to it. If Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat had a lightsaber, this would be the one. The emitter reminds me of a custom car exhaust. It might be hard to see on camera, but it has a brushed aluminum look on the top surface of the entire hilt. And it's pretty much uniform from the emitter, the control ring, and the grip down to the pommel. Now I think the weathered finish is actually a veneer since it actually feels smooth, but on camera, I think it looks awesome. It has that worn world Star Wars look. And some of the edges of the cutout have that exposed metal look. You can kind of see them around here where it just looks like the bare aluminum. And same goes for the emitter, especially at the tip. It almost makes it look like it's singed from the heat. The pommel isn't uncomfortable or has sharp edges. So if I ever accidentally swipe my side, I'm not gonna get hurt. The cutouts on the grip make it really comfortable to hold. The overall grip section is actually kind of thin, which makes it easier to grip. The control button is partially recessed, so it semi-protects it from accidental clicks. Above it, there's these rings and a slight bulge that makes it comfortable to balance and grip without slipping. So with a 32-inch blade, most of your balance would happen right here, so putting your grip right there is perfect. The emitter is beautiful with a bat-like design on the top, and there are actually several cutouts that expose the blade when it's ignited. Now let's put on the blade. Now it's secured with 3 set screws, so there is no wobble. Sometimes when a blade is not seated deep enough, it can wobble, but not in this case. This saber, it's really secure. So let's go through some of the electronics. Let's hold this
Power on.
to go into standby mode. Now the power's on, so 1 tap to turn on the blade. You can also use gesture controls, including throwing it. Now, one thing I really want you to take note of is look how good it looks through the cutouts right on the emitter. Now let's go through some of the blade off functions. So if I hold this and let it blink once,
Mute on.
I can control the volume. It's either loud, quiet, or mute.
High volume.
Now it's really loud.
Low volume.
Now it's on low volume. 2 blinks.
Ignition 2.
You can cycle through all the ignition styles. So check this out, the ignition is now different. Let's do ignition 3.
Ignition 3.
Okay. Ignition 4. Let's cycle back to ignition 1.
Ignition 1.
And there's a total of 11 ignitions on this. So we're back to 1. And 3 flashes lets you cycle through all the different sound fonts. Now let's turn it back on. Now with the blade on, let's do blade lockup is 1 blink. 1 tap for blaster deflect. 2 blinks. You can cycle through all the colors. Now check this out in red, because it's a dark blue. I think this is the best look on the emitter. It looks so mean. It's a nice, aggressive look. And even from the front, you can really see that. And then 3 blinks.
Clash on.
You can turn clash on and off. So right now I have clash off. So if you're doing some really advanced filming with your saber, some dueling, you can keep the clash off so that it's just a solid color when you're spinning or dueling. Let's turn that back on.
Clash on.
Here's what clash looks like when it's on. And then 4 blinks disengages the saber. Now before we take this outside for a spin, please hit that subscribe button along with that bell icon so we can get this channel up and running as a YouTube partner. This way I can bring you more saber videos. At the time of this video, we are just a little over 1,000 hours left to meet our requirement. Now, let's take this outside. Wow, so I gotta tell you, it's not all the time where the balance of the saber is well behind the emitter. Usually I'm like at the edge, but because the blade is seated farther in there, the position for my grip is farther behind the emitter in order to spin. Now, even though there's a lot of straight edges everywhere, there's no sharpness to it, so I can grip this with no problem. Maybe the only part I would be careful around is this little slit here on the emitter. It's not really that sharp, but just a place I would kind of avoid. I have more sabers with more sharp edges than this one. This one is more on the comfortable side. And what's awesome with this one, it looks great and it feels great at the same time. So if you're looking for an affordable saber that feels good, looks good, something that you can use for dueling and spinning, but also has that authentic Star Wars look, check out the Guardian from SaberForms. Hope you guys enjoyed the saber review. If you want to see more, check out this playlist right here. And if you want to see the recap to the best vacation of my life at the recently decommissioned Galactic Star Cruiser, follow this video right here. May the stars light your way and the Force be with you always.